différents types d'éducation en deux types principaux, suivant que cette éducation est passive et fait essentiellement appel à la mémoire, ou que cette éducation est active et fait essentiellement appel à la compréhension par l'intelligence et surtout à l'invention par l'intelligence. En effet, le vrai problème de l'éducation, c'est quel est le but de l'éducation? Est-ce qu'il nous faut former des enfants et des individus et qui soient simplement capables d'apprendre ce qui est déjà connu, de répéter ce qui est déjà acquis par les générations antérieures, ou bien est-ce qu'il s'agit de former des esprits novateurs, des esprits créateurs, qui soient capables d'inventer dès le niveau de l'école et ensuite pendant toute leur vie dans le domaine professionnel.
Jean Piaget was the outstanding developmental psychologist of the 20th century. The results of his work have appeared in close to 100 books and literally thousands of research articles and book chapters. The impact of his work upon social science has been enormous, and his work alone has contributed to the rapid growth of developmental and experimental child psychology. Increasingly, in education, his work has an impact upon the curriculum and educational practice, all of which now reflect Piaget's conception of mental development. Hello, I'm David Elkind, and I had the good fortune to study with Piaget in Switzerland at the beginning of my career. In the quarter of a century since that time, I've witnessed the way in which Piaget's teachings have become part of our way of thinking about children, how they grow and how they learn. In this film, we will highlight many of Piaget's most salient observations and conceptions. Born in Neuchâtel, Switzerland in 1896, Piaget showed his promise early. At the age of 10, he published his first scientific paper, an observation of an albino sparrow. By the time he was 16, he was so well published that he was offered, sight unseen, the curatorship of a museum. He had to turn down the offer, however, as he hadn't yet completed high school. Once in university, Piaget pursued his avid interests in biology, psychology, and philosophy. Rather than choose between these three disciplines, Piaget did what many other geniuses had done before them. He combined these three disciplines into a new discipline, which he called genetic epistemology. Epistemology is that branch of philosophy that attempts to answer the question, how do we know the world? In the past, philosophers attempted to answer this question by armchair analysis, but Piaget took a different tack. He wanted to answer the question experimentally, to put the question to nature. He chose to do this by exploring how children progressively construct the world as a result of both experience and mental maturity. It is the idea that our knowledge about the world grows in stages which parallel our mental growth that makes Piaget's a truly genetic epistemology. For Piaget, what develops and what allows children to construct and reconstruct their world is human intelligence, adaptive thought and action. So Piaget's studies always deal with two issues. On the one hand, he is concerned with the content of thought, with what children know. On the other hand, he's concerned with the process of knowing, the how and why of children's knowledge. So for Piaget, he really doesn't believe that there's an absolute separation between the process of knowing and the content of our knowledge. In a word, there is no knowledge without intelligence and no intelligence without knowledge. Piaget's theory of human intelligence evolved during his long and productive life.